there, it's Dusty Thunder with yet another Reddit story for you. This one is from the Dusty Thunder subreddit. I'll be damned. And it is titled, Am I the Ass Enough for telling my fiance that my little brother is more important than him and our upcoming wedding? With an update. I'm 30 female, and I'm currently 2 months pregnant with my first child and engaged to my fiance of 3 years, James, 31. For a little background, when I was 15, my parents had my baby brother, and 5 years after, while I was 20 and Matt was 5, my parents and Matt were driving home when they got into an accident resulting in my parents' death. That's heavy intro context. After the accident, I was completely destroyed and devastated, but I had to pull myself together to be there for my brother, and the following month, I buried my parents. With the help of my aunt and uncle, I applied for guardianship of my brother. It took about 7 months before I was approved. I had to get a stable job and income, which I did, proper housing for me and my brother, which I did by using money from my inheritance to buy a house, and other little things. But in the end, I got my guardianship of my brother. It was hard at first working while looking after my brother, but it's easy now. There's still ups and downs, but I would do it all over again for my little brother. I met my fiance when I was 27 at a gathering, and we just clicked. After 3 months of dating, he proposed to me. At first, I said no, because I still have my brother to take care of, but after thinking, I said yes, and we agreed to wait until we were financially stable. In the beginning of this year, we wanted to tie the knot since I was pregnant, because I don't want my baby to be born out of wedlock. And we started the preparations, and the wedding is happening in October, but from what happened last week, Saturday night, it looks like there isn't going to be a wedding. There were many issues where we fought and resolved. For example, the wedding date, the date my fiance wanted for the wedding was on my brother's birthday. I had a problem with that. I wanted to throw my brother a big party because he's turning 14. So I offered the week after, in which we argued, and he even ran to his mother to try to convince me. But I stood my ground, stating my brother's birthday is important to me and him. There was a little more fighting, but we ended up coming to a resolution. Then there were the roles I wanted my brother to play in my wedding. At first, I offered my brother to be his best man, but he said he wanted his best friend, and I said, okay. Then I said ring boy. He would hold the rings on the little pillow and bring them up to us. But James said he wanted his nephew, and I said, okay, and left it. Saturday morning, I was watching this TikTok video where the bride asked her male best friend to be her man of honor, and I thought it was so sweet, so I decided to bring it to him. When he came home, I was in the kitchen while my brother was at a sleepover at his friend's house that Saturday night. As he entered and sat, I said, I have the perfect role for Matt. What is that? Him. I thought he could be my man of honor, and then both wedding parties come out as couples. They can come out as singles. Me. What? Him. Man of honor, or I will call it my brother of honor. It would be lovely. Me. But I thought you wanted my sister to be your maid of honor, so that can't work. Him. I never agreed to this, and what about my brother? I want him to play some kind of role in my wedding. Me. I was thinking he could be a guest and sit in the rows. Him. I was completely shocked, like I wanted my brother to be in my wedding and not some side guest. I don't know what to say. He wanted to put my brother on the sidelines. His whole family was playing some part of the wedding, and most of my bridesmaids were his cousins. Only 2 were close friends, but this he couldn't grant me. I stopped what I was doing. I told him no, it was my wedding too, and that I wanted my brother to be my man of honor. And he started that his sister was better and my brother would be a guest, and he didn't want children in the wedding parties. I completely lost it and started arguing with him from one thing to the next. The brother's 14, right? Since Saturday, he hasn't come home, only sending his brother to pick up some of his stuff, and his mother and sister have been blowing up my phone, but I'm a selfish woman, and so what if my brother is a guest? So the last time they called was Wednesday night, and I went batshit crazy on both of them, using language I'm not proud of, but I end the call with, yes, my brother is more important than him in this wedding if it's happening, and I will never put him in front of Matt, so I'm sorry, and let James contact me to talk things out. Okay, before we dive into the update, yeah, Trini, he's jealous. He's jealous of this 14-year-old kid. That's her little brother that she has been a mother to. She's had to be a mom to this kid, so let's call him, in all practical purposes, this is her son. This is her 14-year-old son that he is pretending like doesn't exist, and this OP tells you everything you need to know about how he is going to treat your little brother after you get married. He's going to try to isolate you from your little brother. He's going to make it as hard as possible for your little brother to be in your lives at all. The stand that you're making right now has to happen right now, because a whole lot of pain is coming if you don't take this stand. Like he's determined. I guarantee you, after you got married, you'd be living in a place where your brother can't be. But he is being controlling, only playing defense to make sure this kid doesn't make it in the wedding. He's targeting This is isolating him, so the eye of Sauron would always be upon him until there was enough pain that your little brother just went and stayed somewhere else. Oh, she is pregnant. Yeah, this did come from the Dusty Thunder sub. Is OP in chat? OP, if you are in chat and want to claim your story, you know what to say. Damn it. Damn it, I forgot she's pregnant. Yep, this is not going to get any easier. Shit. Update. Hello, everyone. I'm very sorry I didn't get to update it due to my being busy with work and canceling every wedding preparation I made and preparing Matt for sports camp. I would like everyone to know that I will not be marrying James, and we broke up. Well, on Friday, the week after posting my original post, I got a message from James asking to meet and talk, which I only agreed to if I could pick the day that we can meet, in which he agreed to. After picking a day, which was Sunday, where I knew that Matt wouldn't be home all day and I notified James, he came around the midday period with his mother. I was shocked when I opened the door letting him in as they sat in my living room, not saying a word for a few seconds, which made the moment more awkward than James stated that he was sorry for leaving and staying away because he needed to think. Then his mother started condemning me for saying that I wasn't acting like a future wife and I should put my future husband's thoughts into consideration and a lot of other comments. F you, Mom. You know what? F you, Mom. We all know that this was all coming from you in the first place here, and for you to accompany him for this relationship discussion and hold his hand throughout this whole thing. F you, Mom. Detach him from the teat. He's going to be a dad now. You got to let him grow up right now, okay? Let him grow up. Jesus. My name, I'm disappointed in you. You're getting married and you need to stop acting like this to your future husband, she said to me. I scoffed hearing that, then turned to James asking what was his problem with my brother, and it has more to do with me showing attention to my brother than him. He sat there not saying a word for a while and then stated he wanted a life with me and the unborn child, but not with Matt. Shocker. I felt utter disgust for him at that moment as he continued to say that after the wedding and having the baby, he thought he could convince me that raising a baby and a teenager would be hard on both of us, and it would be best for me to send Matt to live with my uncle and aunt, but he would allow me to still support Matt financially. Oh, he would allow you to. Well, thank heavens for that. I was completely shocked, and before he uttered anything else, I told him I'm sorry, but no, this isn't happening, and my brother isn't going anywhere. I stood up and took off the ring, handed it back to him, and told him it was over after saying that both he and his mother got up arguing that I didn't have to do that and I will regret this. And he started to cry, asking me to think about what I'm saying. I just walked over to the door, opened it, and gestured for them to leave. A few minutes past then, they headed through the door with James crying and pleading while his mother was calling me some nasty names. And later on into the evening, his sister and mother rang down my phone, cussing me out. But I only told them to let James come for his remaining stuff. There are a few things I would like to respond to. One, I saw many of you ask why I didn't choose Matt to walk me down the aisle. I gave my uncle, my father's older brother, the role because after the whole funeral, he was there helping me to acquire guardianship and just being there over the years for both me and Matt. Two, furthermore, I made a mistake in my original post. Matt is turning 15 this year. I didn't see the typo. I'm truly sorry for that. Three, many of you advised me to abort so I wouldn't have any ties with James, but I'm sorry. I had to think and I wouldn't do any abortion and I would carry the baby to the full term. 4, as many of you stated, I should sit down and talk to my brother, and if James even mistreated him when I'm not around, in which I did, but he said no, that James mostly ignored him, and he does the same. Plus, I also told him the wedding is off. Well, thank goodness for that. Thank goodness that you told him the wedding was off. And that you stood up for your little brother because he revealed his plot, which was really his mom's plot. Let's be honest here. Like mommy accompanying him to this relationship, this critical relationship conversation tells you everything you need to know about what the hell's going on here. And their threats like, you'll regret this. Yeah, you know what? He's going to regret this because he's only going to be around. He's only going to be able to be around his child for a limited amount of time now. And yes, hopefully he still grows into the kind of father that he needs to be and probably wants to be, but he's letting his mom hold him back and ruin his life right now. Actively. Boyfriend and mom, you're living here. Ask on one. You're truly terrible people. Your whole plan this whole time was to have her little brother, who's essentially her teenage son, shipped off to live somewhere else. This was premeditated. And you, to this point, have just ignored his existence, hoping he'll go away. That makes you a terrible person. I'm sure this was directed and puppeteered by mom. Doesn't make it okay. You're both terrible. You're both terrible and delusional. And mom's getting the bizzo here. Mom's getting the bizzo. And OP, of course. OP, NTA.